Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Tonight, we've got a blockbuster storyline that could rewrite the franchise's future. The murmurings that Luka Doncic may be headed for the exits in less than a year after that breathtaking midseason blockbuster trade. We're going to unpack every whispered detail, from clandestine dinners in West Hollywood to looming European commitments, to speculate on whether the Mavericks' former prodigy will don another jersey before the 2025-26 season tip-off. Only 2 nights after the Lakers' season ended in a Game 5 collapse against Minnesota, Mark Stein reported that Luka was spotted at Craig's in West Hollywood, deep in conversation with GM Rob Pelinka, head coach J.J. Redick, and his business manager, Laura Beth Seeger. On the surface, it looked like typical front office bonding, but insiders suggest it went far deeper. Initial groundwork for a potential departure, discussions about contract structures, and contingency plans. If the fit in L.A. proves less than perfect, could that late-night powwow have planted the seeds for a seismic exit that few saw coming? Pelinka has gushed publicly about building the next decade of Lakers basketball around Doncic, calling him a franchise pillar. Yet behind the shiny press clips and soundbite headlines, there's a far more complex narrative taking shape in the shadows of the Lakers' front office. Sources whisper that while Pelinka was waxing poetic, off-camera tension simmered over defensive liabilities. Luka's well-documented struggles on that end have already been ruthlessly exposed by the Timberwolves in the playoffs. Those series losses weren't just a fluke. They magnified a glaring weakness that LA's coaching staff has been scrambling to mask all season. Combine that with LeBron James's recent Grade 2 MCL sprain, and suddenly the Lakers' blueprint for championship contention looks precariously in flux. Internally, some executives have begun to question whether they can endure another season of one-man offensive explosions followed by defensive collapses. Could it be that Pelinka's public confidence is a smokescreen, concealing private doubts about Luka's long-term fit in a franchise built on all-around two-way excellence? This cautious skepticism is compounded by the looming Eurobasket 2025 tournament, scheduled from August 27 to September 14th across 4 countries: Cyprus, Finland, Poland, and Latvia. As Slovenia's undisputed superstar, Doncic is all but guaranteed to log heavy minutes against top-tier competition, facing teams like France, with Rudy Gobert anchoring the paint, the Czech Republic, and a surprisingly deep Poland squad playing on home soil. The grueling schedule, 9 games in just over 2 weeks, compounded by international travel, intense scouting, and media obligations, could have a brutal physical and mental toll. Lakers team doctors are already voicing concerns about cumulative fatigue. They warn that back-to-back international trips and minimal recovery windows might leave Luka running on fumes just as training camp begins. If he arrives in Los Angeles not fully rested, his explosive first step and clutch late-game stamina could be compromised, forcing the Lakers to monitor his load more conservatively. Could a half-season dip in effectiveness spark mutual reconsideration of his Lakers tenure, with both sides deciding that this global commitment undermines the very success they sought in L.A.? Contractually, the stakes only become higher. Doncic cannot sign a new extension with the Lakers until August 2nd, yet he holds tremendous leverage. He's slated to earn $46 million in 2025-26 and has a player option worth $48.9 million for 2026-27. The Lakers could counter with a 4-year, $230 million max extension that secures his services through his early 30s, an enormous bet on his sustained offensive brilliance. But rumors swirl that Luka might favor a Donovan Mitchell-style arrangement, a shorter 3-year, $165 million deal with a player option after year 2, effectively granting him unrestricted free agency in the summer of 2028. That path would allow him to re-enter a more lucrative market once he completes 10 years of service, potentially commanding an even larger contract. If Doncic opts for that route, he'd maintain an unprecedented level of flexibility, ensuring he isn't locked into a max deal during what could be the back end of his peak. Could this strategic maneuvering signal that he's preparing to keep his options open, perhaps even eyeing a return to Dallas or a move to a more defense-minded environment? Imagine the Mavericks, still smarting from the February trade, pouncing at the first sign of Luka's dissatisfaction. Dallas could craft a reunion narrative, re-teaming him with longtime EuroLeague teammate Kristaps Porzingis, capitalizing on their established chemistry and offering a system custom-built around his underrated playmaking. Or consider Miami, fresh off a finals appearance and boasting a defensive nucleus of Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and Terry Rozier. The Heat could pitch a role where Doncic's offensive skill set slots seamlessly into a proven championship framework. Even a team like Phoenix, with Kevin Durant potentially seeking another star to chase rings alongside Devin Booker, could emerge as an unlikely suitor. Is it possible that the Lakers' own glowing public embrace of Luka becomes the very signal that entices these franchises as they read between the lines and sense a vulnerability in Los Angeles' commitment? On the flip side, Los Angeles could double down, willing to sacrifice draft capital and salary flexibility to surround him with defensive specialists and three-point marksmen. Could Pelinka orchestrate a blockbuster trade, shipping out D'Angelo, Russell, or Rui Hachimura for someone like John Collins or Robert Williams III, to create a plug-and-play lineup that masks Luka's defensive shortcomings? The possibilities are endless, but each move would carry opportunity costs that further complicate the team's long-term blueprint. From the Lakers' perspective, losing Doncic would be unthinkable yet reminiscent of the early 2010s Clippers, who swung for the fences to acquire Paul George only to see Kawhi Leonard depart days later. The Lakers must carefully weigh whether doubling down on a singular offensive superstar, who may never evolve into a consistent perimeter defender, jeopardizes their championship aspirations. Could the boldest and most controversial decision be to part ways, resetting the roster with younger, more two-way talents in a defense-first schematic? Some insiders even suggest that Pelinka has already sketched out multiple fallback plans, scenarios in which he rapidly deploys draft picks and trade exceptions to build a balanced roster if Doncic opts out. As we count down to August 2nd, every rumble out of Los Angeles carries outsized significance. Will Luka sign the max extension that cements his Lakers legacy and binds him to Hollywood? Or will he choose a path of strategic self-preservation, keeping his options open while testing the market? Is this the beginning of the end of his short but electrifying Lakers chapter, or merely a dramatic interlude before he recommits to the purple and gold? Only time and that monumental contract decision will tell. But what do you think about all of this? Will Luka Doncic ultimately stay in LA, or is a dramatic exit on the horizon? I'm torn between marveling at the thought of his potential Lakers dynasty and fearing the defensive woes that might drive him away. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Just 3 months after his blockbuster departure from the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic appears to have found his footing in Los Angeles without missing a beat. Despite the seismic mid-season trade that sent shockwaves through the NBA, the Slovenian star has continued to post impressive numbers, reminding everyone why he was deemed untouchable in Texas. Yet, even as he dazzles on the court, the question of his long-term destination looms large. One place, however, seems definitively off the table: Texas. In a recent appearance on Sunday Conversation, Doncic was asked point-blank if he would ever consider returning to the Lone Star State. His answer was simple and definitive: no. That curt response not only caught Mavericks loyalists off guard but also signaled that, for Luka, the Lakers represent a fresh start he's not willing to undermine. Could that unwavering stance indicate that Los Angeles isn't just a stopover, but a forever home? Or might it be early bravado, masking deeper reservations about his fit in Hollywood? Back in Dallas, the ripples of the trade continue to unsettle the franchise. ESPN's Tim McMahon reports that Mavericks owner Mark Cuban remains committed to GM Nico Harrison, but only with the promise of adding a seasoned executive alongside him. That move suggests a realization in Dallas's hierarchy that Luka's departure didn't just remove a superstar, it exposed deficiencies in their governance structure. Will this front office shakeup restore stability, or will it further distance Doncic's legacy from the Mavericks for good? Adding to the irony is the fact that just days before the trade, Doncic purchased a $15 million mansion in Dallas. That real estate investment now serves as a stark reminder of how quickly circumstances can change in the NBA. For Lakers fans, it's a potent symbol of confidence lost. For Mavericks faithful, it's a bitter marker of loyalty betrayed. Could that very home become the trophy of regret, a shrine to what once was? In Los Angeles, the Lakers have wasted no time telegraphing their intent to secure Doncic's services, well beyond his current deal. Come August 2nd, he becomes eligible for a Supermax extension, rumored to be 4 years, around $229 million. That would lock him in as the franchise's face for the next half-decade. Yet, whispers around the league suggest that Luka might prefer a shorter 3-year extension with a player option, mirroring Donovan Mitchell's strategy to reach full free agency sooner. Could that thirst for flexibility hint at underlying doubts about life in LA? LeBron James has been refreshingly candid about his own limitations in influencing Luka's decision. Speaking to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, James emphasized that while he cherishes Doncic's presence, the decision belongs squarely to Luka. "He's 26, I'm 40, LeBron said. He can't build his career around mine." That passing of the torch is as poignant as it is practical. LeBron recognizes that the Lakers of tomorrow must revolve around someone else. Does that acknowledgement nudge Luka toward committing, knowing he'll inherit the full mantle of leadership? Of course, Los Angeles's public show of confidence is counterbalanced by equally powerful allurements elsewhere. Imagine the Mavericks, circling back, offering a reunion with Kristaps Porzingis in a system fine-tuned to Luka's playmaking. Or the Miami Heat, fresh off a finals run, tempting him with a defensive anchor in Bam Adebayo and the promise of robust veteran support. Could these suitors, quietly evaluating the Lakers' defensive shortcomings, swoop in with offers too, tempting to refuse? Then there's the Eurobasket 2025 dilemma. Running from August 27 to September 14th, across Cyprus, Finland, Poland, and Latvia, the tournament will demand Luka carry Slovenia through a grueling slate of 9 games in little, more than 2 weeks. Lakers' medical staff are reportedly alarmed. The rapid pivot from international competition to Laker training camp could precipitate mid-season fatigue or injury, undermining his debut season in LA. Could that risk factor prompt mutual reconsideration, Luka's and the Lakers, about the wisdom of this tenure? Internally, Lakers executives are said to be drafting contingency scenarios. What if Luka opts for the shorter extension, becomes a free agent in 2028, and departs? Some insiders claim Rob Pelinka has mapped out draft and trade strategies to pivot quickly, leveraging salary exceptions and draft capital to replenish the roster. Is Los Angeles preparing for a Luka-centered dynasty or bracing for a sudden void that requires rapid reinvention? Defensively, the Lakers must confront Luka's well-publicized struggles. His missteps were exploited mercilessly by Minnesota in the playoffs, raising questions about the viability of an offense-heavy roster in an era where two-way versatility is king. Could the Lakers decide that doubling down on a singular offensive genius, who remains a defensive liability, ultimately jeopardizes their championship aspirations? From the fan perspective, optimism is high but tempered with caution. Social media polls show a majority hoping Luka stays, yet a sizable contingent. Calls for a retool that prioritizes defense and depth. Will Laker Nation celebrate the dawn of the Luka era, or lament the missed opportunity to construct a more balanced, sustainable roster alongside him. Contract negotiations promise to be a chess match. If Luka signs the full supermax, the Lakers will need to sacrifice cap space elsewhere or risk sacrificing valuable role players. If he chooses the shorter deal, he retains a leverage but risks returning to market conditions that may have shifted unfavorably. Which path will he view as most advantageous for his career and legacy? As we count down to August 2nd, every word out of Napa County training sessions, every whisper at Lakers practice, and every snippet from Doncic's camp carries outsized significance. Will he don the Lakers uniform for the long haul, cementing his place among LA legends, or will his departure become one of the most sensational free agency sagas in NBA history? One thing is clear: Luka Doncic's next move will reverberate far beyond Hollywood. The decision he makes this summer will define not only his personal legacy but the entire trajectory of the Lakers franchise for years to come. But what do you think? Will Luka sign long-term with the Lakers, making Hollywood his permanent home, or will he leverage his options to chase a better fit elsewhere? I'm torn between excitement for his Lakers' future and the tantalizing what-ifs of a Miami or Dallas reunion. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and ring the bell so you never miss an update on Luka's Lakers destiny.